Welcome to our Corona update. So, I had correct my calculation. I had some errors. That's why there are some numbers looked a bit weird. I hope it goes every time a bit better with my statistic. You maybe remember that Sweden was always on the last place, and then I had some not logical moments in thinking over, and then I found that was not the right number of inhabitants. Sweden had not 6 million people, they have 10 million, 10 million and 600,000. So I had corrected, and then Sweden goes up. But I also changed a little the placement, so it is rarer now. It is difficult now to find two countries on the same place, because the relation to the last statistics goes a little bit wrong because that and very fine calculations. I make the calculation a bit finer, so the value of the debts, it is a little bit more important. And if there are people, if two countries on the same level, the country who have more debts in relation to his inhabitants, um, then then he goes a rank down to the other. So then we can see better who's winning and losing in the statistics. So let's go. So there we are. Get the infected, the people who died, the people who cured. So and then let me see. I made another thing also into that is these two numbers. So that are the numbers who are research is the rus is given by research groups. One of the University of Bonn, which is in Germany. He make an work from a city who gathered the coronavirus on the same time because they had before lockdown they have all get to a carnival party in this city, so outside, and then they found out how many people dying from the people who infected. So they have all of them tested, and they found a percentage. So that is the number. It is related. This place is related of the inhabitants. So if all of the people, for example, in Belgium, are infected, and there must be, if everything is correct with this works, in between 114, not in between the best case from the University of Bonn and the worst case who's given by the Robert Koch Institute. The Robert Koch Institute is the most famous institute about pandemics or epidemics in Germany. And So he is directly linked with the German government. And maybe you know that Germany made it quite good. Rec very a bit too late, but on beginning on rec, the management was good. So, but still, when I talk about this, we will see where is Germany. Germany is, I think, it's something like um, France is here, Portugal, United Kingdom. Um, I think must be better. Okay, I don't see Germany. This is still on the not that looks not very good place. Um, so that is, but this is normally that is that way. Um, don't worry about it, because scientists, they count on the beginning and what could be in the future. And I can do that. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a statistics. I just have this calculation program for free, and I want to show what is happened since beginning and to this time. So I have not a crystal ball on something like that, and I have still a lot of errors, but I try every time to make it better. So let's start it. So let's see what has happened to the infections, mm, and to the, yeah, the Kazakhstan goes very down. Where's Kazakhstan from the died number? But they have nothing proper right. So yeah, the died number comes down and healing number comes up from Kazakhstan. Where's the healing number? Yeah. So it means there is a peak. It was a peak in the past of the infection, and now they put the number, and there's a big part who is now okay, and they put a number into, and on the same amount, on the high amount, they come also people who died. So that's why the number of death goes down. So that's quite normal. Let's go to the next, the rank world. So then I proper write this one. Oh, okay, that is not right. So Nicaragua have until now the best in prevention against, but it is on the beginning. It have not that much infection, and you see that here is still growing straight, and the numbers are given look like every week getting, and this is always a little bit more. So don't looks like it goes slower on that number. What you can see on that number is better. You can see that they have something happen. So there's not, the new infection are not going higher, and you must see that is about 350 new infection per week. So that is not that much. And let us see how many people live in Nicaragua. That is Wikipedia Nicaragua. And so the population have 6.5 million people. So that is not much, but for just for the number of 350 infected per week, that is a good rate. So, and they work a little bit slow. It looks they mm, doesn't they stop it right now, and they can do it down, but it is also in a low rate. So there are other countries that have to go on that rate. So I can example. Oh yeah, when we talk about Germany, we talked about Germany. Germany, in general, Europe is one of the continents who get it first and very hard. So in the beginning was Europe the worst continent, and here we are with Germany. So in Germany, that is normal what you're looking here. So the infection goes up, and then the government react, and they're trying to make something, and then goes down. But the infection there is going not to zero. Even you make everything okay. And now they open now. It is a little bit longer. This is a few weeks. They open the lockdown because the economy will have to run. And the problem is when you see that, you see that's a problem with to beat it to the zero. They work like the clusters. If the clusters get too much, then they come the troop, also with people from the army, and look after what they can do. If this, so so that is some question who comes up to it. So okay, that was Nicaragua. Nicaragua is here. So the next one is Venezuela, but we go first here. Venezuela is a worst case. Let me see, where's Venezuela? Yeah, lost 12 places. Lost 12 places. So they managed worse than every country who managed until now. Okay, some countries get a little bit later and something like that. But let us look what the John Hopkins University say about Venezuela. You see that is goes fast and faster. Let me make it big so it gets faster and faster. The difference between one day getting bigger and bigger, sometimes a little bit slower. This is about how the people count and something. Some people maybe don't have time to count, but it is important to see it goes more like in a rocket and fast and fast. But sometimes the other graphics give a better number. That is the daily cases, and then you see in average is always going up, and it looks nothing. There's don't look that is something to stop the problem there. So that was Venezuela, and Venezuela, how many people live there? At first, just to know where is Venezuela, is South America and is over Brazil and is above, sorry, is above Brazil and they're living. How many people living in there? Okay, population it is 28, 20, nearby 29 million people. So there comes a lot of people who get problem. So this one is what is this? Oh, Costa Rica. Okay, that's Costa Rica. Okay, let's go to the number. So where's Costa Rica? Costa Rica. Yeah, it's the second worst example is Costa Rica, and you see the same growing, 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 always faster and faster. Yeah, and the daily cases. Okay, you can see there's something stopping. That is also you see some counting good and some other counting bad. Maybe different cities have a bit a different workers of statistics, and so that why it looks like a wave. That's have nothing to do with something. Uh, so Costa Rica, that is the island. Normally is the best chance. Oh no, that's not the island. Sorry, I'm wrong. That is part of Middle America. So and yeah, they have population 5 million. Okay. So then let's go to the continent rank, and then we have Croatia on the best place here. Still is up. So and the worstest case in Europe is Czechia. But it is for Europe in a good place, and I said it already. The Europe get it at first, and it's still on a high average. Um, the management in Europe is maybe the best you have right now. Okay, put China out. It looks that China make it much better than Europe. But Europe is also not just one country. There's a lot of countries with different ideas how to work, and that you can see also how the countries are. There is in between the place 35 to the place 110. And then what is also different to China, the travel in Europe is much higher, even for work and everything, much longer distance and everything than in China. Um, and that's why it is easier for virus to get over. But they had begin the management and they get a little bit better. But still, every country there have to open the lockdown because you have to make money. But they don't forget the management. They manage a different thing. This is a low altitude, and then they catch it. So there is also one country is Sweden into, in oh, I can't say Sweden. They're still on the last place on the rank. Still, I made some errors with the calculation in the average of European country is still on the last place. So we can look about the worst, the biggest loser on it. That is Czechia. So that is Czechia, and you see, for all European countries is to work with a lockdown. Better you can see it on the other number, and you see the goes down, and then comes the second wave. So that is how to manage the stuff without lockdown. And then they're managed and then goes down. But in growing is the worst is now in rank in the world. So he lost 6 places. So to see what is the Czechia country that is in the middle Europe, have a lot of borders to other countries. Yes, that is a ex uh, communistic country from the uh, leader on the Soviet Union, and everything they had to begin at first. But I think that is one of the country who uh, make the transition to a modern country with modern industry on the best way. They have car manufacturer is part of VW called Skoda. They make it very good, very modern cars, good prices. Okay, still very modern. You pay still a lot of money. So, and they have a lot of heavy work industry. So, for an Eastern European country with this history, they make it still very good. So, and we see the population. It have about 10.7 million people, and it was one of the most successful countries against COVID-19. And you see it because there's on a higher place. Whereas Czechia here still 33. So it is a good place for Europe. So, but even for Europe, you see, um, they came from 37, so it lost even in Europe a lot of places. It was before on second place in Europe, and now is on place 5. So the next one is Romania. Romania is very interesting because Romania is the poorest country of the European community, can have also the same history like Czechia, but is very far in the east. It is much nearer to Turkey than to Germany, for example, and so it makes a lot of difficult on it. So and then you see this stuff here. and you see they manage a bit and stop a little bit, and then is right now growing again. But it is growing not that bad like Czechia, and the daily cases make you can see. Okay, because it begins in a lower, it must begin in a lower altitude. And the second wave, what is we awake after open the lockdown, is quite the same amount like this the first one. So you we can until now we can see if they have beginning uh, the working of an prevention management. So it is still on a high level. So it could get worse. So we will see what it is gone in the what will go in the future. So what will going in the future? Okay. So and there's Moldova, there's Romania. Yeah, Moldavia is something about talking about history. In Romania, Romania have how many people? They have population of nearby 20 million. So and Romania have also come car manufacturers. In the past time, it was very old style. They opened the wall on 1989, but the techniques of these cars on the east side of Europe was on the level on the 60s or 70s. So, but it must always come a company manufacturer from West Europe to help survive just one of them. And you may have the help from a French company, and Czechia had help from a German company. So, but Romania is also much far away from the center of Europe. But still, that is really the cheapest cars, but you can buy it from European community in the from the in who comes from the European community, and it is really the half price, and the technique is still not that bad. So that is maybe not a variation you can put into, but the cars are good, are the same quality like Renault, like the French company Renault, which is the biggest French company. So, um, so and then okay, so then we come um to the next. Let us see. Is there something? Oh yeah, the worst case on North America is Guatemala. They lost 8 places, and even that is 3 places for the continent. So let me see what the numbers of Guatemala. Okay, is growing fast and now is a little bit slower. The other graphics, oh yeah, they made something to break it. It looks not that they had a lockdown. Maybe they begin with a lockdown. So uh, so something is doing now. So okay, this is just worst. This is bad information, but but there's a hope. Maybe they can do it. Let me let see Guatemala in the future. So Guatemala, where we are, Guatemala is there, Middle America. It is in my statistics part of North America. So how many people live there? I have 70 million. Oh, there's a lot of people. So the worst case on South America is Venezuela. Maybe we saw it already. I and there's Bolivia. Venezuela is the worst case of every country in the world in losting place, and the second on South America is Bolivia, and that is Bolivia. That don't look like stopping something like that. Yeah, it's growing. Nobody cares about. So it is a bad look to the future. So Bolivia, state of South America, there we are. A lot of borders, but it's still a big country, and 20% indigenous people. So okay, and how many people live there? Mhm. 11 million, 11.5 million. So, and then we come to Africa, and the worst case in Africa is South Africa. Okay, the last country the infection are beginning is in Africa. Maybe because it's a bit far away from everything. And let us see South Africa. South Africa is the most advanced country in Africa. And we will see what has happened. And South Africa, you will see a big growing. Um, Let us see if something on management is working. Maybe the last 5 days. But you see, the most important on that virus is to begin very fast. It's sooner you begins, better is the chance. So that is could be a stop, and we will see what's going in the future. South Africa, that is the country of South Africa, and there we are. There is a lot of people living there, 60 million people. So there's we awake a lot of dead people. So then goes everything in our thing. So I want to say some always what is interesting, I think, is India. India, there live a lot of people, and there's no possibilities to shut down because the virus is influted to every place in that country, and there's a lot of people who is very near one to another. Um, it came there a little bit later than to Europe, and that's why it is on right now in a good rank. But every rank he lost, there will die a lot of people. I will tell you that. And they had a lockdown, but then they have to realize that people dying they're much easier on poorness when they don't work or make the stuff to get some food. So they have to open the lockdown, and they had also not the possibilities, even because everything is too near together, to work against this pandemic. So that will be very sad. So now the ranks in between the economical types. So because the statistics is completely renewed and the ranks are renewed, please look at that only for the best case, not in absolute numbers. So in bad cases, the best cases on that stuff are the oligarch state, but there is very down right now. And in growing, it is oligarchs. In growing is also the socialist, religious country, which lost a lot, not that much. And even by number is better than the social market systems. But we have just two examples or three examples. So is that the numbers are not very useful. What you can use it is the evaluation between the social market economies and the liberal market economies. And there we can see that the social market economies are a bit better in losing than the liberal economies. But but in the rank is the social market economies is the worst is one of them, but you must see which countries are there. Yeah, the mostly are Europe countries. So you must take it, realize we must make where we come, wait where we come to if the numbers will set down. And right now we can say that see so much the political rank. So the political systems, theoretical states, council states, authority states. So council states don't lose, but there's still China into. So authority-led democracy, so they're losing a bit. President-led democracy, they lost a lot. So you see, there's also a lot of South American, and also India is into. So it could be worse. Democracies of previous monarchies or previous councils lost the same amount, but it is starting in a better place. So represent from democracy is starting in a good place and is losing a bit more on places. So if you are high, you can fall very down. So there's only one direct democracy, and this is part of Europe, so we don't know. But it's not part of the European community, Switzerland, so just to know. So, and then I have a new, I have put the numbers of the worst case and best case are from the research foundations and put how uh, what could be wrong on the numbers and that numbers that under the norm zone so that it looks better than it have to be. But the country are still on counting, so it means not really it is completely wrong. It could be still right, but there could be possible reason numbers are infected is estimated or not all deaths counted or miracle causes. Okay, but a lot of these countries, okay, Nepal is very poor. Maybe they can look to every bit that. Huh? But Bahrain and Qatar and Singapore are very rich countries, and maybe they found right now, or the medicine have found better solution to survive later to the time where the universities this best case and worst case was made because there's a few months old and even the medicine make some explorations and they make it a bit better. And if you have money, you can use everything to make it better. So um, for that, so and then we have a norm zone that's in between. So that means not that the numbers here is all right. It could be also they're still in the beginning and is not growing that fast. It could be also that is all three numbers whose relevant are wrong. Yeah? If you just count on city and the rest of the country don't cares, and even you don't cares about other cities, you can be in that place without to have a good management. So it means also so and then that is a lot of countries who's not into, and there you see also a lot of countries who have good management. For example, Japan, yeah, or Denmark, or Germany, some yeah. But you know that is I made just this numbers because this is out of the rank of the norm zone. That means not that liar. That is it could be also the rate. Um, if one is infected, it takes um, 5 days. Then the first signal comes from his body. So and then it takes time that he get tested. So so and the older people who get it a week before, they are they are right now dying, and not all people die in 1 week. Some people dies in 5 weeks later, so or much longer or something like that. And so that why that is not very you don't can found a lot of reason about, but it is interesting to look. And if you look and you think you can use it for something, for example, to look after your statistics, or if you are a doctor or something, you can maybe see, oh, what have I done? What have we done? What maybe what could be better? Not only for the test statistic, for example, for cure. So the deaths above the normal zone, possible reason, not all infected people are counted, or estimate number of deaths, or difficult condition of healing. So, so that is the last plate. Thank you for to look my my YouTube video. That is not that much people who looking here, but I do something before I can begin my real stuff. So have a good day and take care of you. Use mask and clean your hands.